Thanks for watching segment 4 of Smacktalk. I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
Before we start our top 5, we're going to do the top 5 teams that lost this week in the NFL. I want to say that there is space down below our segments to throw some comments in.
Yeah.
So if you have an idea of what you would like to hear, or if you have a comment of what we said, negative, positive, we don't care. We love the criticism. Throw it down there.
Let us know you guys are watching. Definitely. Tell us what you like to see. If there's a jersey that you don't like, you can nominate a jersey to be taken down, depending on the player's performance.
Or put up.
Or put up, yeah, exactly.
And you know what? If you comment, you live in Vegas, play in on the panel. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Top 5. 0-1 teams in the NFL. There's some quality teams that lost the first game in the NFL. We're going to talk about our top 5. I'm going to start with my number 5, which is the Minnesota Vikings. They have the best running back in the last 15 years.
They have the best running back almost of all time, excluding Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. Walter Payton.
Okay, and not only that, they have Jared Allen on defense. They have a quality defensive line.
No quarterback.
That's the Christian problem. Ponder's not the answer.
That's the problem.
They just got Greg Jennings from the Green Bay Packers.
Not a solution.
But Greg Jennings is a quality receiver.
Sure.
They just don't have a quarterback to give them the ball. Minnesota, they were in that game for a while, but they just could not hang because offensively, you can't have 3 and outs. Not with a team like Detroit. Detroit's like the Patriots were a few years ago, where they're just scoring points. Mm-hmm. And you need a guy that can, you got to keep your defense refreshed. You can't just go 3 and out and then put the defense back on the field.
You're killing them. And we talked about Detroit. Detroit is high-powered offense, especially with Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
So he adds that new element. So I understand 100% on Minnesota. My number 5 is the Washington Redskins. RG3, his big comeback, came up short.
Yeah, came up short.
I don't think it was because of so much RG3 as it was Chip Kelly's offense. Just running them down.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy came up big. Deshaun Jackson came up big. Michael Vick played a great game.
Yep.
The defense of Philadelphia ended up playing great, which I didn't see coming out of Chip Kelly because
he's an offensive
he's known
coach.
for offense.
You know what though Philadelphia was doing, and RG3, he's got to get back into the mode of playing game. This is the first game he's had where he's actually had dudes trying to take him out. Because when you play in practice, you can play full speed, but the quarterback's wearing a red jersey. It means don't hit the guy.
Yep.
Okay, well in the games, it's not like that. The Philadelphia Eagles were putting direct pressure up the middle, blitzing straight up the middle, and a few times Kendrick and the other linebackers, they're getting untouched, and he's not stepping in his throws. He's having to throw off his back foot. Not only that, but I want to say some drops. He hit some guys that were wide open, and they dropped the ball. And that goes back into not being an offensive rhythm. So I like RG3. I like the Washington Redskins. I like to see them do good. They're an old school football team.
Yeah, sure.
I
love the Redskins.
I don't think this year is going to be their year.
No.
They're going to be all right. They're not, a 2-14
They're 9-7,
team.
10-6.
Yeah, 9-7, 8-8 is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That division's going to be too tough.
We're in the same area.
Yeah, so definitely good. My number 4 team lost a close game against the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, the Cincinnati Bengals, I hate to say this as a Steelers fan, but they're probably going to win the division.
Yep. And I hate to tell you that as a Bears fan to a Steelers fan. But
yeah, the Cincinnati looks real good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. AJ Green, Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah, Jermaine Gresham, Tyler
Gresham,
Andy Dalton. Talk about the best second-round pick out of TCU, bro. That was
who saw Andy Dalton?
Oh, and the redhead, bro. The redhead. I know.
Who saw him doing that?
Dude.
Nobody.
Hey, and you know what the worst thing about it is? Marvin Lewis will coach that team until he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but who's running the ball?
Giovanni Bernard, UCLA. Hey, he's a quality back. What they need to do is they need to go back to the old run and shoot because they have the personnel to throw the ball.
Houston Oilers style.
Yeah, throw the ball to set up the run type thing. They could take a thing out of Chip Kelly because Chip Kelly was doing.
You know what? Cincinnati's a great team, and I think they're going to win that division.
The defense,
is great.
Awesome.
Geno Atkins, even though he got hurt, he did get hurt. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Pac-Man Jones revitalized in Cincinnati, definitely.
No shooting up nightclubs.
There you go. My number 4 is Green Bay. Also, Sean's number 3 is Green Bay.
Yeah,
so let's
Green
just
Bay,
talk about that together. Kaepernick just tore that defense apart.
Yeah.
400 yards passing.
Here's one thing: Eddie Lacy's not the answer.
Nope.
I'm sorry. He scored a touchdown, but in the NFL, if you're going to be a north-south runner, you can't be the shimmy before the line of scrimmage guy.
Nope.
And he has a problem to do that. You have to hit the hole. Trent Richardson, perfect example. North and south runner, hit the hole, take your speed forward.
Yep.
Not stand behind your line. Now, if you're going to be a north-south runner that does it, you got to be like Frank Gore. You put your hand on the lineman, you feel him out, you stay there,
and then you go around.
You go around him. You don't try to shimmy.
What kills me is that look, you got Trent Richardson. Like you were praising Trent Richardson, he has the same running back coach as Eddie Lacy did in Alabama.
Yeah, but
so what's the problem?
Well, I think that Eddie Lacy thinks that because Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing the ball, that he's just going to be this breakout
you know
star.
what? He's sadly mistaken because he's gotten stood up just about every play that he ran in that game by the 49ers
Another
defense.
thing that I called in a previous show, the Green Bay Packers, Dom Capers. He's a defensive coordinator, about the 4th or 5th year. People started to catch on to his defensive scheme.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Clay Matthews and A.J. Hawk, that defense would look a lot worse.
Sure.
That's why they're not higher. Green Bay, as long as they got Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be an all-right team. They got Jordy Nelson.
Yep.
You know, they got Jermichael Finley.
They got Randall Cobb.
Yeah, Randall Cobb. Oh, excellent,
he's
excellent slot receiver. Yeah. They're going to be an all-right team. The division that they're in now, with the Lions being better, with the Bears getting off a nice start, it's going to be tough for Green Bay. I still think Green Bay could make 10-6. I don't want to go back because I don't think Chicago and Detroit are steps ahead of Green Bay. Mm-hmm. But I do think with Chicago's defense and Detroit having Reggie Bush, that is going to be harder for Green Bay to move on.
Yeah, and so it turned out that Urlacher really wasn't the answer.
No.
I mean, they look just as good.
Hey, I'll tell you
without
what,
Urlacher.
Lance Briggs in the middle of that defense, now that he's the guy.
He's calling the plays.
He's calling the plays.
And
he's
learned from Urlacher all these years,
yes.
and it hasn't really changed much.
Yes.
So, I mean, I was
still
very
Julius
nervous.
Peppers.
Yeah, I was very nervous. You got Julius Peppers. You got the new guy, Jonathan Bostic, who comes in for DJ Williams, who's the starter. And, I mean, you still got Tillman, Tim Jennings, and Zach Bowman as
I'll tell you what. Carolina. Let go of Julius Peppers. That dude is going to play for like 4 or 5 more.
Yeah, and he just restructured his contract to make more room for more free
players.
agents to come in, which
definitely.
is great. He's not a selfish player.
That's why I say Green Bay, they're lower on the rankings. They're 3 for me, 4 for Tony, is because I think Green Bay's window of opportunity in that division has gone away.
Yeah, sure. My number 3 is the Atlanta Falcons.
I hate this pick.
Yeah, well, you know what? They're a good team in my opinion. I know you don't like the Falcons.
They don't have a defense, bro.
They don't have a defense. However, they upgraded, as far as I'm concerned, in Michael Turner to Steven Jackson.
Okay. Look, I love their offense. Julio Jones, Roddy White, Matt Ryan, Steven Jackson, Tony Gonzalez.
Roddy White played with an injury issue.
Yeah, I love their offense. Okay, I love everything about their offense, but it's an incomplete team because defensively they can't stop people. And in that division, okay, granted, they're good enough to beat Tampa Bay. Carolina's going to be tough for them.
Let me ask
you
a
Orleans
question,
is the team to beat.
What was the most high-powered offense all of last year? New Orleans, correct?
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, and they held them 13 points.
What I'm saying is that, Atlanta,
they had
without the defense, it's like you're wasting Matt Ryan's talent.
They had to do something right, though.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, they stopped Drew Brees. They stopped...
they didn't have... Drew Brees didn't have Sean Payton last year.
Okay, they stopped...
Sean Payton comes back,
look. Fine. You stop Sean Payton... You stop Drew Brees, you stop Jimmy Graham, you stop Michael Colston, Marcus Colston, to 13 points. It's a pyrrhic,
that was last year. This year, the 23
victory.
Points.
That's all it is.
Okay,
but I'm not going to say they should have won the game, but they are a better team to score more than 10 or whatever points they score.
I'll tell you right now, Atlanta doesn't make the playoffs.
Oh, that is another $5 bet right here.
$5.
Yes, sir.
Two of them on the show. My number 2 team, Tony's number 2 team, is my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
They've got the pieces to the puzzle. Now, they just lost Pouncey and Foot. Okay, their defense needs to get more turnovers. They need to get more pressure on the quarterback. They had 1 sack on the game against Jake Locker, although they had quite a few close ones. And I'm a firm believer, if you ever watch a Steelers game, the outside linebackers are getting held every play. And I don't think the refs call it every time. It's kind of like what Julius Peppers has happened. You can't call it every time because you got to give the tackles, you got to give it to them sometimes.
Look.
But the Steelers, they should have won that game. They didn't put up any points.
You say the Steelers have the pieces. I think they're missing at least 2. The only reason they're number 2 on my list is because of who they lost to. If they lost to a team like Atlanta, if they lost to a team like Green Bay, if they lost to a team like Minnesota or Washington, then they wouldn't be on my list. They lost to Tennessee. Tennessee is not a team that should beat Pittsburgh.
No, it's not. It's not.
Without
definitely
a doubt. Pittsburgh
first home
is
opener
a
loss since
playoff
2001.
team in like a wild card spot, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll give you that. Right now, that's the way it looks.
Tennessee is nowhere near a playoff team, even in a wild card spot. They are nowhere near coming out of the cellar of that division.
Yeah, not only that,
shouldn't
Shawn
be
Green got hurt too.
They shouldn't be beating Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So whatever the problem is, they need to fix it quick.
Well, I think what it came down to that, as soon as the Pouncey injury happened, Roethlisberger couldn't get no protection. They went right down the field. Pouncey gets injured. Isaac Redmond fumbles. There goes all the protection. Emmanuel Sanders wasn't covered the whole game. He was getting every pass thrown to him. Jericho Crotchery lit him up. The thing is when Roethlisberger's got time, he's going to beat people. So with another week, the extra day playing on Monday night, I think Pittsburgh's going to... Cincinnati's a 7-point favorite. I'm telling you right now, Cincinnati's not winning that game. We own Cincinnati in Cincinnati. I'm going to say it right now.
Okay,
Cincinnati's not winning that game.
I say Cincinnati wins by 10. But, that's just my personal opinion. Everybody's entitled to it. Pittsburgh, what did they do to Chris Johnson?
They held him to 70 yards, but most of it, 30 yards, was in the fourth quarter.
Okay, Chris Johnson. They have no wide receivers in Tennessee. They have no quarterback in Jake Locker.
Washington. He's quality wide receiver.
He ain't no all-pro wide receiver. They shouldn't have scored even the amount of points they did.
No, you're right. Well, the thing is the third downs, and this is where it's happening. The third downs, not generating any pressure, they're getting those third down conversions, getting field goals. Mm-hmm. Because the game was really close at one point. It was 10-2, and Steelers kept having the ball, and they couldn't get it put together. And then when the Titans get the ball, they're getting the third downs just to get into field goal range, and they kick a few field goals, and to make it.
What I say is that the Steelers lose to Cincinnati on Monday night, the worry meter goes way up.
Steelers aren't losing.
Way up. Hey, you can call it as much as you want, but if they lose, it goes way up.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Just like the Giants, as both of our
number one picks. Yeah, the Giants, the worry meter right now is teetering on panic mode.
Sure.
Brandon Jacobs is a great move because he's already been in the system. He knows the thing. You got to show up 5 minutes early to Tom Coughlin's meetings. They've got Eli Manning. They've got Victor Cruz. They've got Hakeem Nicks. They've got Reuben Randall, that wide receiver from LSU that's looking good. The Myers,
they still have most of the front four on defense.
Yep.
They have a couple problems
Jason
in
Pierre,
safety.
The safety
injuries.
And plus their cornerback Prince Akwamura, the Nebraska draft pick a few years ago.
I don't even know.
He got a concussion.
That's not right.
I know it's not right.
I don't know it either though. He's
number 20. He got a concussion. He got hit by his own player. I think the Giants are one of those teams that they're going to hang in there, and if they can be healthy at the end of the year, come December, that's when the noise will get made.
Yeah.
Because look at the year they went to the Super Bowl. Both years they were 9-7. They make the Super Bowl and they win. Okay, so they're not a team that's going to go 13-3.
It's not the same team. We called this on the show when we were doing just pure audio a couple of years ago that the Giants were going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Before the playoffs even started, we got together and we're like, you know what? The Giants have the make for a playoff run.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just don't have that this year.
Well, it's early in the season, so I'm going to get the Giants are my number one because I think the running back thing killed them. 6 turnovers, you only lose a game by 5 points. It's very well, we go 3 turnovers, Giants win that game.
Sure.
And we're talking about how bad Dallas is.
18 goes 3 turnovers, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If they had 3 turnovers and won the game, we'd be talking about how bad Dallas lost the game. And that's not the case. So I'm going to give the Giants till week 5. I'm going to give them till week 5. If they're 3-2 or better, I'm going to say they're okay. If they're 2-3 or worse, that's their season.
Hey man, I'm calling out the Giants right now. You lose next game, you done.
Yeah, against Denver. Manning versus Manning. By the way, both those brothers, total, 11 touchdowns. 11 touchdowns in 1 week. They both were 27 for 32.
Came from Peyton, though.
I know, but they were both 27 for 32. They both finished with over 100 QBR rating, and we talked about it. 2 of those interceptions from Eli were not his fault. Yeah. One of them was, but I think the Giants will be all right. Like I said, week 5, we're talking about a different story. We'll cover the NFL week by week, which is what happens.
Without a doubt.
Probably next
football,
week.
We're going to cover week by week. We're going to cover this Champions League soccer coming up.
Yeah, we got Champions League.
We're going to do World Cup qualifiers as they come up for the next round.
Yep.
And on top of that, baseball players are coming up. Playoffs are coming up, so we're going to cover that hard.
Yep.
So definitely. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching Smack Talk today. I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.